Here we go. There we go. There we go. Hey, your boy Trey. Let's just talk poetry with Kara. And let's just put the action. I'm sorry. So sorry that kind of jump like that. But
No problem.
have you written any new poetry?
I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I
You
did.
did.
I did. I wrote, it was the one I shared on the group, which waves
Mm,
one.
you gotta
Yeah.
read that in here.
Yeah.
I would
Read
love to
that
hear that.
one. All right. We'll read that one.
Let's do it.
So I think that's the only new poetry I've written.
Really?
No, I did write one other one
Mm,
or two other ones, but I
okay.
can't I can't read them.
I understand. I understand. But you did that one you did post. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah,
Mm,
that one was like I needed to do that one.
yeah. Did you want to read it first and then we dissect it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's do it.
Let me hold on.
Because that was dope. Okay, I guess before you even read it, though, my question to you about that poem,
Hmm?
because this is not something you post often on your own, profile. So why this one, or what made you go, hey,
So I'm starting to do different things. Like I,
okay,
I'm starting to like do more stuff. And so I was just like, I'm gonna post this poem, you know?
yeah,
Like I've been learning how to edit things, make
mm-hmm,
my own little edits and stuff. And so I am gonna start posting more. I mean,
yeah,
I've been wanting to do like the whole reason I even got the Just Kara thoughts
yeah,
page
yeah,
was to post my thoughts on different things
yeah.
and stuff. Um, so yeah. So that's why.
That's big. That's
One of the
huge.
reasons, I guess.
That's really huge. Were you nervous when you press submit? When poetry is vulnerable transparency. It's openness. Were you nervous when you submitted?
A little, I guess. I mean, you never know like how people will respond, but I guess I just I would say I guess somewhat yes, but mostly no
Mm,
because like I don't know, it was like it's my voice. It's like for me it's like all of my socials.
yeah.
I know that like most of the goal
Hmm.
for a lot of people is to get likes, to get people to follow you, to all get all of that.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, not that I don't like that, I
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
but honestly, for me, my socials are really like kind of like a diary for myself,
Mm,
or like I guess it's like a public diary for myself, but it's like that's why I have it as like just Kara is my name for
mm,
most of the things, is because it's like really I'm doing this just for me.
yeah.
I do hope that like they resonate with people, and
Yeah.
if things resonate,
Hmm.
like by all means, like I hope it helps, but
Hmm.
like it's a lot for me.
Hmm. Yeah. A lot of this is for you and what you're doing, how you're growing, who you're becoming.
Hmm.
I think that's amazing that you've reserved that for yourself. You've reserved that confidence for yourself, that personal self-development. This is like you said, this is for you. You're developing, you're growing, you're progressing. And I think it's very much so shown in your poetry. And not just in your poetry, but in the fact that you're sharing it. You didn't do that.
No, I
You
never did that before.
you didn't even really write poetry.
Not really.
I'm serious. Like talk about growth. You know what I'm saying? Like you're growing to the extent of writing poetry on your own. It's not like we're giving out poetry assignments on this in this group. You're
Yeah.
sitting down and writing.
Yeah. There's no homework.
There's no homework. We don't give homework here, y'all. Like just so like hey, you are doing this on your own.
Mhm.
That's so freaking dope. But I'll let you read it if you're ready.
I am okay, yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Okay. This one is called The Waves. The waves break along the shore, a constant rhythm in ebb and flow. They carry memories as I sit, soaking in the sun, listening to the crash. Like the tide, life has highs and lows. These memories pull me back, dragging me under to a place that once was ours. Our first home, our first life, our first
Mm,
everything.
mm.
4 years in paradise, a beautiful place to call home. The waves crashed, and I trembled in awe of creation's vastness. The ocean stretches, boundless, endless, I, a speck within its splendor. Here I can feel small, not worthless, not unseen,
Mm.
but small in the presence of something greater. Yet the memories flood in, waves of words that made me feel small, worthless, unattractive, useless. And that's the hardest part, separating the good from the bad, replacing, erasing, remaking. Now I sit and listen to the waves, revising the echoes in my mind, the crash, no longer a reminder of loss, but a rhythm I reclaim. I will be small for no one, except the tide, the stars, the creator, not because they diminish me, but because they remind me that I am whole.
Come on with it. My goodness. Wow. The vibe I'm getting is a self-reflective vibe. You're self-reflecting here.
Hmm.
Are
Yeah.
these and there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of ups and downs and roller coasters here.
Yeah. It's like the tide, Trey.
It's like the tide. Like the tide. No, I like that. I like and what's the name of this one again?
The waves. This is what I was feeling like when I went back. So like I had been in
Mm,
Hawaii for 4 years and I went on a vacation just recently
yeah,
to Hawaii. And so like this is some of the stuff that I was feeling while I was there
yeah.
just because um I mean I guess like I said in the poem, that was like the last time I had been there was when
Yeah.
I was married. And now like I was going post divorce. And there was like it was literally our first home. That was um our first home together as a married
Yeah.
couple because like once we had got when we had gotten married, like 2 weeks after our honeymoon was when he ended up going to basic training, and so we were separated for those like first few months of our
Mm,
marriage. And
mm,
I was living with my in-laws. Um and so like his first duty station assignment was Hawaii. And
mm,
so like, we moved there after that. So it was really that was our first home together.
mm.
Um and everything. Our first everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
So
and we lived there for 4 years. Um and then yeah, then we got divorced, you know,
mm,
and all that stuff. So
yeah.
there's like good and bad memories there.
Yeah.
And so that was like part of it. Like let's see, what did I say? That's kind of part of the whole thing about like, like memories can also flood in kind of like waves too. Like your memories can be like a wave,
Mm,
ocean, like coming in
oh
like
yeah.
the tide.
Mm,
And so like there's those memories that came in too of like the times where you didn't make me feel
mm,
good.
yeah.
And I tried to like I was thinking about how, like, when you view creation or you view something that's so
Yeah.
beautiful, like the ocean, like it's
Mm,
huge when you
mm,
think about it. Or the stars, like there's so many. Like when you look up at the sky, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much. Or a mountain, and it's like
yeah.
how big it is. You're
Mm,
just like, oh my gosh, I'm so small in comparison to this. And not small like in that sense, you don't feel
mm,
small. Like it's like I don't feel small like I'm worthless,
yeah.
but just like you're like almost trembling in awe or like you're in
Mm,
awe of it.
mm,
Um and just that. And so I kind of just wanted to also use like some symbolism and um in comparing, the feelings of that smallness or like um that I felt with the ocean compared to the smallness that I felt in my marriage, you
Yeah.
know? Because
Yeah.
it was a different type.
Absolutely. No, I get it. I get it. Um, it's funny. Oftentimes, revisiting a area, a site, a certain specific scene, or just revisiting things in general, right? Listening to things. It could be a certain song that comes on the radio and you hear it. It's funny how those things can trigger emotions,
Mhm.
trauma, you know. It's funny how much you can bury, if you want to say that. It's so funny how much you can bury inside of you and not even realize that you've buried it, or not even realize that you've harbored this type of feeling or emotions, only to then have them come back and you know hit you full force if you don't deal with them.
Mhm.
And I think poetry is a way to deal with it,
Yeah.
which you know
I think that was like part of the reason why I was like, I really do need to write this. I mean, I enjoyed my time while I was there.
hmm
Like, and that was another reason why I think I was gonna bring this up too, but I also like
yeah.
talked about, it says separating the good from the bad,
mm,
placing, erasing, remaking. I've been talking like, you know, replacing some of like, not that I'm gonna like you can't replace the past. You can't like erase what happened. But like some of it is like remaking some of the memories.
yeah.
Like I went with my sister and brother-in-law, and like so they're people that I like.
Yeah.
Um so now I have new memories in some of the places that we had shared
hmm
that are now with people that I hold dear
yeah.
and someone that is like associated with hurt.
hmm
Yeah. So now
hmm
that memory is no longer necessarily associated with hurt,
that's good.
or that place isn't necessarily associated with hurt.
With hurt, yeah. Yeah, the fact that you can replace feelings, the fact that you can replace memories, the fact that you can make new ones
Mhm.
that can replace, excuse me, that can replace the old, that can replace memories that you once had. And, you know, you express that in the poem as well. That is actually really amazing. The fact that you had, you know, so much to say in what seemed like such a short, small, cute little poem. It's like,
Yeah, there is a lot. I mean, it's
mm
heavy on like I mean, for me, I think it's like one of the heaviest poems I've written.
wow, one of the heaviest.
Yeah,
Wow, wow. And you say that it was necessary. You said that's what you said, right?
I
This is
think
a
so.
mm,
I feel like it was a necessary thing for me. It was a
yeah,
necessary thing to get it out.
yeah.
Because I mean, I had been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it since I was there.
hmm
Um, it was really like it was the waves honestly crashing, like when I was on the beach,
Yeah.
just like, sitting there and listening to the waves is
hmm
that was just resonating with me so
Yeah.
much. I was
hmm
like, I have to write about this. Um, so
Do do you feel like do you feel like, you know, obviously that was a traumatic experience for you, your marriage and your previous marriage and just things of that nature. All the things that you went through, but things that certain things. I'm sure it was good parts, but I'm sure there were a
yeah,
lot of parts that were also very much so like, man, you know, um, not a good experience. And, you've shared some of those different things. And with that, with writing this poem, do you feel like it's brought a level of healing that you perhaps didn't know you needed?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm,
Mhm.
mm,
Yeah, I do. I do think so. It was like healing to write about it, like to
yeah.
like let it go in that way in a
Hmm.
symbolic way. And also, I'm just really glad I went back to Hawaii too. It's like
Mm,
I didn't let, like sometimes you can also let something like, you know, you're like, I'm going to avoid these places forever now because they're associated with bad memories or with
yeah.
this person or whatever. But I don't like that thought of like avoiding something forever.
Yeah.
I would much rather take a hold of it and make it mine
Yeah.
than allow that person or that thought to have that control. I feel like it's relinquishing the control that they potentially have on you.
Yeah. Good. That's good. That's really good. You know,
I mean, that's my thoughts behind it, anyways.
yeah. When you write stuff like this and post it, do you ever fear that person or the people that you're writing about perhaps coming across it?
Mm, honestly, I don't care.
Hmm. I like that. Nah, honestly, I don't
Um,
care. Yeah, that was quick. That was a quick response.
I might have cared before, but I
Yeah,
really don't care now. Like, I don't. Um, they've said the things that they will say, and they'll say things that they'll say, regardless of if I write about it or talk about it or don't.
yeah. That's so good. That's really good. Oh, I'm really taken back by that. Uh, but I'll let this poem. I'll give it some time and marinate. Give it some time and marinate. I'll share a poem.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think I wrote one too long ago. Funny because I think this poem was a poem that was very sporadic, and I'm kind of like, I'm kind of like asking myself or wondering, I should say, like, man, what did I say? And did I write anything in here that I don't want to, like it's funny how you can start to kind of um almost almost in a sense, for me, writing poetry is like snitching on yourself. It's like saying things that I didn't mean to say, but I said it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh snap.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly.
Hmm.
I've written a couple of those
Hmm.
poems, which is
Yeah.
exactly why those ones haven't been shared on
Uh,
here.
uh, uh, no.
Snitch on
Mm,
myself too much.
yeah. Yeah. Like literally, you know? I
Hmm.
get it. I get it. It's such uh, it's almost like you become possessed and you're not really writing, but you are. And
Hmm.
then it's like, once that vibe or that high or that feeling is over, it's like, dang, did I wrote that? It's like, did I write that? Um, I found one. I don't know if this is the one man, it's so funny. I actually wrote a few. I didn't even realize I wrote them.
You were on a writer's high?
I was on a rise high. Yeah. Okay. I have one right here. I think this is a good one.
Okay.
And I probably read this before, but I read it again. Don't underestimate the power in words. They can cause a surge and stir. bundle of words. Observe my words. Do they make you tremble? Are you disturbed? Words. And I think that kind of ties back, just to the element or the very medium by which we express poetry, which is words. I think a lot of people underestimate the power of words. I think a lot of people, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. That's like the old saying. And it's like, I think that's like one of the biggest lies ever. Like, like I think
Yeah.
words can do more damage than physical sticks and stones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Like the Bible is a compilation of words that freaking altered course of events. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think words carry longer than actions, perhaps.
Words
You
carry
know,
a lot of weight,
a lot of weight.
but you definitely need actions to back them up.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
And I almost see it. Almost think about how amazing words are. I guess maybe I was thinking of this when I was writing the poem, but just like how many times has life been created and taken away because of words? So whether it be created as in romantically saying things that has sparked a moment where people have become intimate, but then
Mm.
also in the very same aspect or very same coin, words that have caused uproar and anger and strife, or ex, ex, ex escalated a certain argument or something that was taking place, and then that just took off because of what I'm saying, like
Yeah,
words.
well,
Hmm.
and then that caused, either a war or, or
Hmm.
something like that, which then created killing in its place. Yeah.
That's insane, just for some words.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So many people have been put in the grave because of words.
Yeah.
So I think I kind of wrote that with that expectation. Many people underestimate the power of words or power in words. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but yeah, that was one poem I think I just kind of on a binge with. Do you have another one that you want to share?
I don't think so. I really
If
don't.
not, I can go again.
I think you might need to go again because I don't
Okay.
think I have any more. I
Mhm.
mean, other than,
That you can share.
yeah, other than the ones that I can't share. I'm looking in. Yeah. No, I can't. I've already shared this one.
Yeah.
You go. I'll keep looking.
All right, I got some more.
Okay.
Now, this feeling is a feeling I feel very often when it comes to poetry. Just, when that I'll put it this way: when that spirit comes over you, the spirit of poetry comes over you. When that vibe of poetry comes over you, it takes you. So this poem, I think, was written with that perspective. It's titled "It's One of Them Nights Where I Must Write." Right? All my poets out there. Is tonight your night? Will you write or will you hold it in? Again, for me, not tonight. For tonight is my night.
I remember that one. I remember you shared that one because actually that inspired me to write a poem.
Mm,
I think I did write a poem that night. I don't remember which one, but I did
let's go. Wow.
after I heard that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember which one, but
Mm, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a call to action. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I feel like a lot of people sit on that feeling, that vibe, that unctioning. I guess thinking that the words are going to appear on the page. I don't know what they think, But it's just like, you gotta write, you gotta go. There's a call to action here. Will you will you answer the call? Yes, that's the question. Or will you allow it to pass you by? You know what I'm saying? But I think the most amazing, rawest things are created or made when they're in the moment. When they're in the moment, you know what I'm saying? Like when you wait for something and then try to do it later or do something, it dies down.
Mm.
The momentum dies, and I'm learning that even with my branding and even with my systems and all those different things. There's power in momentum.
Yeah.
When you can make something move, when you can make something go, there's power in that, you know? But yeah, it's definitely a poem that I was feeling when I was, very much so in the I guess as they say and as you can say, I was in my bag. You know what I'm saying? I was in my bag. And so as I was in my bag, I was definitely you couldn't stop me from writing that night. That night, if someone tried to stop me, we probably would have had to fight. It was that strong. I'm so serious. Okay, like sometimes it's that strong of a feeling.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you touch me and we about to have a problem. But I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's great.
was
So
it? Yeah.
I did look, but no, I don't have any poems that I can share. Any new poems that I can share besides the one I did.
The one you did. Yeah, that's fine. Really fine. I get it. And
So
let
if
me
you
try to
have
top this off. Huh?
So if you have more, it's your night to shine.
Stuff. Trying to see. This is more of a romantic poem. I'm not sure if I shared this before. You mine, you fine, I'm the one of a kind, mine, black hole, lost control. You've sucked my soul. This wasn't even the goal. Story to be told, a pot full of gold. Behold, this is more than I know. This is more than I know.
Mm.
I feel like I shared that before. That black hole sounds familiar.
It's a new one for
Does
me.
anyone mean? Yeah. I'm I'm a definitely a romance when it comes to poetry too. That's definitely something I, you know, take great pride in as well.
Mhm.
But that's dope. I like this.
I mean, I think poetry is meant to be romantic.
It's meant. It is meant, And a lot of people I think don't understand that or underestimate that. But yeah, romance is a big part, And that's just heat of the moment, passion. You know what I'm saying? When you're in the moment, when those hormones are flowing, poetry is definitely a good way to express that. And I love expressing it in that way. I can
Mhm.
get pretty raw with my poetry,
Mhm.
but I just choose to aim it and keep it at a minimum because of my audience and the people I know that follow me. But, I get there. If I get there, then yeah, it starts to come out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I definitely think that was heat of the moment type poem for sure.
Mhm.
It's good. You got me over here exposing myself. Come on now.
You're the one who gets to pick the poems,
It's
Trey.
messed up. It's messed up.
I'm not telling you which poems to read.
It's messed up. Oh, this is a good one too. This is another one. Give while you can, and then give again while you can. Because dirt can't give to sand, and you're only a man. So give while you can, and then give again. I
Mhm,
was I was definitely thinking about the brevity of life here.
mhm,
And giving, I think that's a huge thing. Not just monetarily, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking in every aspect, in every capacity.
mhm. Mm,
And
yeah,
and that, go ahead. Mhm.
just, like, time and everything, like,
Mm,
you don't have all the time in the world, give time while you can.
yeah.
You know, you mentioned, like, dirt can't give to sand or something, like, when you're
Mm,
basically, that's what I pictured, when you're in a
yeah.
girl, you can't give anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't give you anything.
Yeah. Exactly. It truly is uh, unfortunate when I think one of the biggest fears for me is to my last breath regret not giving time. So many people, and there's so many people I need to give time to. I say this with a heavy heart. So many people I've neglected, so many people I've not shared my time, and I couldn't.
Mhm.
And I do think that, I do know, and we know, you're in the grave, you're in the grave.
Yeah.
There's no digging me up or digging another person up and trying to, and or you can go all day long. You can try to go as much as you want to the gravesite. You can try to put as many flowers on the gravestone, but that person is gone. They will never know that you came there. They would never know that you put the flowers there. They would never know. You know, you know, you
Mm,
you you know, but they're where they are.
they are,
You
but
know.
I
Mhm.
don't
Go
know.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I kinda like to think,
No,
like
go ahead. Come on now.
oh, because I do kinda like to think, like, like, especially, like, if, like, now, when we're in heaven, we are rejoicing. Like, if you're in heaven, you're rejoicing, you're praising God.
Mhm,
But I still think that there could be, I don't know,
mhm.
maybe this is heretical, I don't know. But it's just
Yeah.
that could be a level of, like, if you're the person that you are visiting at the grave,
Mhm,
like, they don't want you to linger there,
mhm,
but they may see it and be like, "Okay, that's cool," but don't, like, linger in that grief. Like, they want you
mhm,
to get on with your life. Like,
mhm,
if they're in heaven, they're part of the great clouds of witnesses, which is, like, praying for you.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I don't know.
mhm.
That's how I think about
No,
it.
yeah, no,
With,
shit.
like, like, my grandparents that have passed away and everything.
Mhm,
It's like, when I think of them, I think of the
mhm,
good times. Like, I can't have any more times with them.
mhm,
That's um, but if I think of the memories, I'm having a little bit of time with them. But I think about but it's good to still think about, like, um, spending that time with the people that are here, instead of, like, wasting your time in
mhm.
not doing things and just, like, wallowing in your grief, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah. You know, and it should be, and that's why, in many ways, I think I think death is a gracious thing. Like and I say that because I think it reminds us. It's supposed to remind us
Mm.
of the brevity of life.
Yeah.
You're a fool if you're living thinking that tomorrow's promised. You're an idiot. Because it's just like this is like, bro, like that is not like this entitlement mentality. Where's that coming from? We didn't even we didn't even put ourselves here.
Hmm.
We had no part in willing ourselves to be born in the exact time. Like that was all God, like he formed us. He put our heartbeat, I guess at a certain time when we're in the womb. I don't even know when that heartbeat really like starts. And
Ooh. Well, my sister's pregnant now, and so like I know
mm,
they first heard the heartbeat. When was that?
and
I mean,
the fact
yeah,
that the heart has the form to beat, isn't that crazy?
yeah. Well, and she just got to a place where like she's like she can feel the baby kick now, and she's like,
It
"That's
has
amazing."
bones now.
Well, yeah. So like, I mean, so she felt the baby kick, um, when the bones weren't quite fully formed. Um,
A baby can kick when the bones aren't quite fully formed.
and it's like she said it's like a softer kick. And then once the bones get more developed,
You creep
then
me out now.
it's harder.
That's creepy. Like in an amazing way, but it's
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, she's like, it's so weird. She told me it was weird, but also really cool.
Really cool. I just read a scripture. I just read a scripture. I think in Proverbs like that. Like as a man doesn't know how a baby's bones is formed in the mother's womb or something like that. Like he doesn't know the way of the Lord, like something like that. I was like, we can't figure it out. It's just like this stuff doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There's some mystery and a mysterious grasping to know, but we just things we just can't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, like how the heck, how does a thought form in a baby? How does a baby dream? When does that happen? When is there this conscious soul entering the flesh,
Yeah.
physical body, and then that becoming housing for the spirit? When does that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Mhm.
so complex.
Yeah.
It's so complex,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, that poem brought us all the way here, but yeah, yeah,
Wasn't that what poetry's supposed to do?
that's how 4G is supposed to do.
It's supposed to make you think, right?
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. And that's why I love it. That's why I dedicate a whole group to it because it's just like, well, I did poetry and I did Let's Just Talk Poetry and Let's Just Talk Art separate for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Most people would be like, isn't that poetry? Isn't that art?
I mean, yeah, poetry is art.
Mhm.
Like personally, I would have put music and poetry together.
Mm.
Like
Oh, that's a really good topic.
that's how I would do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, because I just feel like, I mean, like songs are poetry because, the lyrics are poetry.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
writing. And then to me, like music itself, like even just like instruments
yeah,
are like poetry, like the notes form poetry.
yeah,
Um, but that's how I would, that's how I would have done
yeah.
it.
hmm No, I get it.
But
I
it's
get it.
cool. It's cool. Music can
hmm
play with art.
Yeah, but it makes sense. It makes complete sense. Like, you know, but having that level of expression, I think with poetry, it having its own
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think lyrics, words, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is communication is a big thing, right? And it's something that we all do. Various languages, we even do it down to the freaking sign languages,
Hmm.
or like using braille or, like Communication is so key. It's such a big thing to, I think, the progression of life, the operation of life, that you even have to get, and it's so complex to the degree that you have to get good. You know how people are like, communication is key.
Hmm.
I think that's true, but I oftentimes think, even for my own self, forget that communication is a skill, which means that you can communicate and still not know, like still not, you know what I'm saying?
Communication is key, but like understanding is like the door
That's it. There we go. There
out
we go.
actual understanding, you
There
know?
we go. With all
And
you're getting, get understanding is what the word says, right? It's like,
like all you're getting is like you got this communication, got it, but without the actual understanding. I don't know if understanding is the door makes sense, but
that makes complete sense. You know, if someone's literally looking at you speaking Spanish, or like speaking fluid, fast, a certain dialect of Spanish, because Spanish has a certain like, or even French or whatever language you are not fluent with, you're communicating. They're communicating.
yeah,
You know, this person is
I'm not
effective.
understanding them.
But I don't understand. Rush hour. Do you not understand the words that are coming? It's like, I don't understand nothing.
No comprendo.
No good. Come on. It's like I don't under no say uh, what. It's like you don't understand. And it's not until I do understand that we can even begin to progress.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's big. How do we get on that?
Words.
Words. Okay. She said that so. Words. Words.
Words.
Words. I love it. I love it.
Talking about
No,
poetry as a group,
yeah,
like apart from art is what we were.
yeah. Exactly, exactly, exactly. Words.
I just remembered your poem about the word.
But I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you for this perspective. It was refreshing, really refreshing. And um, yeah, just thank you for giving me that space to read my poems. I didn't even realize how much I needed to do. It's been a minute since I've done that.
Yeah.
I needed to do that. I didn't even realize that.
I don't think since I've been on have you actually read your poems on
Don't
the.
do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm telling the truth.
Don't do
But
that.
you don't want me to
I
tell
will
the
go
truth?
back in
He wants
all
me to
videos. I
lie.
will go back
He
on the
wants me to
videos.
lie,
I
y'all.
will go back on the video. Don't do that.
No, I'm telling the truth.
I don't think you've read a single poem ever since I've been in here.
Not one of
Excuse me.
yours. Not one of yours. We've listened to lots of Charles Bukowski. I promise you, you have uploaded poems. You have uploaded poems. You uploading them and us
I can only
discussing
turn my
them.
neck so far
Us
before
discussing
it's
them
before it snaps.
is a whole different. Look, there's video evidence. You look at the video evidence.
All right. I'm gonna look at the video evidence. All right. Because that don't make no sense. But all right.
It's
All
true.
right. Uh, I'll let her lie for now. It's
You better come back. You better come back after you've looked through this video evidence and be like,
well, I'm gonna
she was
come right
right,
back.
y'all. She was
You over
right.
here, you already calling me a liar. Yeah, that's messed up.
I'm not calling you a liar. I am saying you are mistaken.
AKA you a liar.
You called me a liar.
I did not.
did. That's what you just did.
That was a bold statement. You have never read a poem, Evan. Yeah, you. I mean, you just—that's literally what she just said. Yeah, you have never read your poetry. Like what?
Not while I have been here.
Never? No, no. You said never.
I said since I since I have joined the poetry calls, you have not.
That's not. I heard you say you have never read poetry in
I
your life.
didn't say in your life. You are adding words.
I
He's
was like, in my life.
adding
I was like,
words.
what? Am I? No, you've
You
never
are
read
adding words
poetry
to
in your
my
life. You, you
words.
you've never read poetry in your life.
That is not what that's not what
I'm
I said. If
like,
you rewind your brain.
created the group. Like, you've never written poetry in your life. I never written poetry in my life.
Trey, you'd be adding words to my words. Can't be adding words to my words.
I'm just saying those different variations of
That
the
is
same
not
scene.
what I said.
You said I never read, never written.
I said I never said anything about you not writing. This has gone off the off
Way
track.
off, way off. But this is dope. This was super dope. This is super dope. I appreciate you. I thank you. I thank you so much for this time. This is super. This dissecting was amazing. I'm so refreshed. I feel refreshed. I do hate that we didn't have the other calls tonight, but hoping tomorrow things go a lot smoother. Zoom be tripping, but we were able to get it kind of up and going. So that's the best thing. So, guys, your boy Trey. Let's just talk poetry with Kara, my moderator slash admin. We're just gonna end the recording here, okay? And until next time, guys. Peace.
Okay.
Peace.